Hello guys, welcome back to Cooking with Claudia. Today I'm showing you how to make this delicious steak and peppers recipe. This is such an easy stir-fry recipe. It's very simple, it takes no time at all. This recipe also does well when frozen. So later in this video, I'm gonna show you how I preserve and freeze this recipe for future use. This video is kindly sponsored by Fresco Automatic Vacuum Sealer. This is a fully automatic, hands-free design food vacuum sealer that can be used to preserve all kinds of food materials. Later in the video, I'll show you how I use the vacuum sealer to freeze and preserve the steak and peppers. Let's get started with the recipe. For this recipe, I'm using 2 pounds of flank steak. This type of steak is very good for stir-fry recipes because it always comes out juicy. When you're cutting up your steak, make sure you cut it against or across the grain. Cutting the meat this way will make it more tender and juicier when cooked. And you want to make sure you cut your meat into thin strips, just like I'm doing. Once I've cut up all the steak, I'm going to transfer it into a big bowl, then we're going to marinate it. I'm pouring 2 tablespoons of olive oil onto the steak. I'm also adding 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1.5 tablespoons of honey, 2 cloves of minced garlic and 1/2 teaspoon of minced ginger. I'm adding 1/2 tablespoon of adobo, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. Next, we're going to mix everything together. Make sure you mix in very well. We want the marinade to get on every single piece of meat. Then we're going to let this marinate in the fridge for at least 30 minutes to soak in all those delicious flavors. Don't forget to cover your bowl, okay guys? While the meat is marinating, we're going to prep some vegetables. I'm going to cut my vegetables off camera. So I cut up 1 medium onion, 1 large red bell pepper, and 1 large green bell pepper. I also minced 3 cloves of garlic and about 1/2 teaspoon of fresh ginger. I'm going to set the cut up vegetables aside, then we're going to mix together the stir-fry sauce. In this bowl, I have 1/2 cup of chicken broth. Into that, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch, and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm mixing everything together, then I'm going to set it aside for later. So once we have all the prep work done and out of the way, we're going to start cooking. So over here, I have my wok heating up over high heat. Into that, I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to start cooking the meat first. So once it's done marinating, take it out of the fridge. Then as soon as the oil gets very hot and smoky, you're going to toss the meat into the pan. Try not to overcrowd your pan. You can cook your meat in 2 or 3 batches in order to get the perfect sear. Arrange the meat in a single layer, then cook it for 1 minute on high heat. After 1 minute, you can start turning them over. They should have a nice golden brown sear, just like that. Cook the other side for 1 more minute. You can toss it around a little, just like I'm doing. Then as soon as the meat is no longer pink, you can take it out of the pan and set aside for later. I'm going to place the rest of my meat into the pan. Follow the same steps. As soon as the meat has a nice sear, I'm going to take it out of the pan and set aside for later. Next, you're going to clean out your pan a little. Make sure you get rid of all the burnt bits because they might make the stir-fry bitter. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan, then toss in the minced garlic and ginger. Cooking on medium heat, I'm going to stir in the garlic and ginger continuously and let them cook for about a minute to infuse the oil with your flavor. I'm going to crack in 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and let that cook together with the garlic and ginger. Frying garlic, ginger, and black pepper is really flavorful. Next, I'm going to toss in the cut up onion, red and green bell pepper. You're going to turn your heat to high, then cook the veggies until they're as soft as you want them. I'm seasoning the veggies with some black pepper and just a little bit of salt. Don't go crazy with the salt because the stir-fry sauce and the meat have enough salt in them. I like my veggies soft but a little crunchy, so I cooked them for about 4 minutes. Once the veggies have softened a little, I'm going to pour in the stir fry sauce. Stir it in a little, the sauce is going to thicken right away. Then add in the cooked flank steak. Still cooking on high heat, I'm going to stir everything together and cook for about 30 seconds until all the flavors come together. And since we're cooking on high heat, make sure you stir continuously, that way nothing burns, okay guys? And this is the final look, you guys. Look at how beautiful and delicious this meal looks. It smells so good. This meal is best served with rice, so make sure you have some rice already cooked. This steak and peppers recipe came out packed with all the right flavors. The meat is juicy and tender. I'm gonna leave all the ingredients and measurements in the description box, and stay tuned because I'm about to show you how I freeze this recipe with my Fresco vacuum sealer. This food vacuum sealer can be used to preserve both dry or moist foods. It comes with these bags for storing food, so I'm going to grab one. Then fill the bag up with some food. Once the bag is filled, I place the edge into the opening of the vacuum sealer. The vacuum sealer has multiple functions to choose from. You can select dry for dry foods, but this recipe is moist, so I'm selecting moist. Once you make the selection, it will automatically vacuum out all the air from the food. Once the vacuuming is done, the seal function will automatically and securely seal the bag. Once this is done, I just store this in the freezer for up to 3 months. I like vacuum sealing foods because it holds in the moisture, flavor, and juices of the food, so when you go to eat this 3 months later, it still tastes and smells good. I also use the Fresco vacuum sealer to seal all my fresh meats like chicken or beef, that way they don't get dehydrated or freezer burnt when I freeze them. I highly recommend this vacuum sealer, it's really good. I'm gonna leave all details in the description box together with a 40% coupon code to save you some money. A big thank you to Fresco for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!